I am sorry. I am sorry. Yeah, sounds like trash. Hello, welcome, and I am sorry. I've known that the new solo thing has been out for a while, but I have been, and I have been able to like record it. I just have not had the will to connect my console to my computer again. But I have fixed the issue. I no longer have to do that as I have just put the game on my computer. Therefore, it's easier to do videos that way. In the meantime, I might not have like console type stuff. I've had a lot of things going on, but I do apologize to everybody that specifically watches for these solo stories. I think we have two, maybe. Oh, you know what? I don't think it kept my decks, did it? Let me check this real quick before I fully dive into what I missed. Okay, it kept everything. Cool. Alright, let's go into the story, because there's, I think, two, maybe three? I don't know. No, it looks like just one? Really? Made it look like more. Terminal World is probably... Oh, yeah, I guess just one. Alright, well, it's not too bad. I don't have to make multiple, it's just the one. Okay, well, in the meantime, this is continuing the Terminal World, apparently. That's what they're calling it. The Allies of Justice, the Gen X's, the X-Sabers, you know, all that. And we're going on to the Mist Valleys. I like the Mist Valleys. They're pretty funny. They get their effects by bouncing back to the hand or something like that. And so, let's see. There was, I think it was Guardian Eotos that I really enjoyed. And then I found these other Mist characters that I used for my Ritual Beasts. But I like this deck. This deck is pretty fun. Inside a steep valley, perpetually shrouded in mist, dwelled those who could manipulate the wind. They too will make their mark on history of warfare and find themselves embroiled in an epic battle. Cool. What happened? Why did it go back? I right-clicked. I'm getting used to the controls on this. I'm used to X. Actually, I have a controller I can probably connect it to, but why would I? Oh, there's just, like, straight up no summary. Alright. Guardians of the Mist Valley. The Mist Valley sprawls out as far as the eye can see, dividing up the great land. I wonder if I can use the... Okay. It's impossible to see the whole breadth of it at once due to the ever-present mist. Sorry if I'm reading it weird. It's been a little bit. Dang. Alt. Control. Q. Nah, dang. I gotta click. I was hoping I could just press enter. That was me testing stuff. Sorry. Dwelling within are winged beasts who travel freely along the valley's ridge, and a humanoid tribe who strongly resemble birds. Wait, these are humanoid? I don't think I would have guessed that, but whatever. The latter are impeccable warriors, yet do not seek to expand their influence domain. I like this dude. This guy reminds me a lot of Aotos. I think he's the one that I used next afterwards. I don't remember. Their way of life is a proud one. They are respectful of their old traditions and remain in the valley for from birth until death. Mist Valley environment is harsh, all the more so because of the lack of visibility. However, in the era in which various tribes were expanding militarily, it was not uncommon for rivals to make incursions. When their numbers were small, the valley inhabitants did not lift a finger. Yeah, that sounds about right. Such is the depth of the valley and the thickness of its fog. Outsiders had no hope of ever reaching their settlements or even finding their way out. And so, would-be invaders met with unfortunate ends, all while the valley folk went about their everyday lives. A handful fortunate enough, or rather unfortunate enough, to stumble upon a settlement were dispatched by the elite warriors units that were the pride of the valley. On a few occasions, the valley came under attack from major alliances of barbarians. However, if the bird folk and the winged beasts ever found themselves overwhelmed, they turned to a mist worm. These were colossal creatures that had lived in the valley since before anyone could remember. Each was a lone creature that circled a fixed route for dozens of years, if not hundreds. Even if all these years no one has yet found a means of communicating with them, nor worked out how they managed to survive. They can, however, be interacted with. They respond to flutes, whistle-bearing arrows, and certain orbs that emit glaring light. The valley inhabitants take advantage of this to redirect them. Originally, this was only done to ensure the mistworms did not bulldoze through settlements as they proceeded through their tunnels. But in the era of strife, the valley folk needed novel measures. They used the mistworms to thoroughly obliterate hapless invaders, and so for many years Mist Valley remained peaceful. That is until the extraterrestrial invaders arrived. The Worm Menace. Yeah, that makes sense. The worms don't have to come in through the valley. They can just fall into it and then just kind of do whatever. They've been really wreaking havoc, haven't they? Interesting. I like the idea of we live in a place that is kind of like run by a creature in a way, and we use that creature to protect us by using its weaknesses or something like that. That's kind of cool. I like this playmat, this stage. Alright, most Mist Valley cards have an effect related to returning cards on the field to the hand. Utilize their effects to summon multiple monsters, and then synchro summon a powerful monster. If my voice sounds weird, like it's going in and out, it's because I'm rocking left and right. Just a bad habit I'm doing right now. Yugioh? Oh, nice. Okay, so let's start by playing this card. Okay, cool. Alright. And then if this face-up card on the field returns to the hand, special summon it. But it cannot attack this turn. That's actually pretty nice, because there are cards that say, hey, special summon this by returning a card to your hand. So this is a pretty good card. You can special summon this card from your hand by returning a Mist Valley commodity. Yeah, see? I'm telling you. Pretty good cards. And then you synchro summon. This is so free. I like decks like this. It feels like a one-card combo. All you needed is this guy right here. Well, actually, you need both of these, but this guy really runs the show. When a card is sent back to the hand, I get a free card from the deck. I think it's hard once per turn. And then this one. Boink. Is this a hard once per turn? You can... Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, it's just once per turn. Okay. It's not a hard once per turn, but it is once per turn. Alright. Going to a 7. Boink. With this. Whoop. Wonder if I could just right-click on it and it'll be fine. Mist Valley Thunderlord. Alright, so he activates... What does he do? He's a return. Once return, you can target one other card you control, return it to the hand. Then if you do, this card gets 500. Increase the attack. How much? Oh yeah. We'll go with this. Proceed to the battle? What are you talking about? Let's put that back on the field. What if something else happens? I might have 3 cards. But come on. I might just do this on controller again. Clicking and stuff is weird. I'm not used to the computer right now. Not as a gaming feature. Okay. Actually, before we go into this, let's see. So with this, you get Mist Valley Lord, which I would have thought it would be the big bird. Yeah, see? It seems like the more logo-like, but then again, I think we have the big bird for sure. Ooh! This looks cool. If anything, go for this. If you're gonna, like, play this looks cool. I like this mate base. Actually, it looks like a shuriken. Oh, I might go for it. That's cool. With the arrival of the worms from a distant star, Mist Valley's peace began to disintegrate. Countless numbers of them poured into the valley, and the bird folk and winged beasts fought them tooth and nail. However, it was only enough to stay the storm, not to fully eradicate them. The valley remained worm-infested. Its labyrinthine, terrain and persistent mist were supposed to act as defenses, but not with the worms. Unable to get out, they ended up gathering, and they created nests. The valley folk burnt these to a crisp whenever they found them. Yet these nests only seemed to increase in numbers, allowing the worms to launch raids that made it so far as the settlements. It was proving too difficult to pin them down and eliminate them. Despite every effort, the valley folk could not purge the invaders, even with help from the mistworms. They had come to an impasse. The leader of the warriors, Mist Valley Thunderlord, realized the bird folk and winged beasts were outmatched. There were other tribes outside the valley with which they had relations, and he resolved resolved to request their aid. Gotcha. This was how the Ally of Justice came into being. Wait, is he supposed to be the... He doesn't look like it, what? I'm sorry, I'm looking at these guys, I'm just like, wait, these don't look like the main leaders of their guys, but I could be wrong. It was a network of mutual aid, and it's greatly bolstered Mist Valley's security. Finding nests became a rarer occurrence, and the valley folk found themselves with the upper hand on their home turf. However, just as plans were being made for an offensive to fully eliminate the worms, Mist Valley withdrew from the Ally of Justice. What could have driven such a decision? One day, the warrior chief Mist Valley Thunderlord found out about an experiment the Ally of Justice were performing. A weapon test involving the use of Gen X, who were voiceless and could not object. Although he kept it secret, this sowed a seed of doubt in his heart about the Ally of Justice's operations. He remained silent out of desire to see the world rid of worms and the valley's peace again. Such doubt would not have prevented him from fighting on. The stakes were too great. However, there was a puppet master, fabled Raven, Raven, who was drawn to feelings of ill will. Wait. The Fabled are in this? He amplified Thunder Lord's doubts and spread them among the valley folk, sowing distrust. What was Raven's aim? Did he want to give the worms victory by causing the Ally of Justice to disband? Or did he only seek to weaken threats before the fabled launch, their full-scaled invasion? Most likely, it was neither. Raven took diabolical pleasure in fostering hostility and seeing what fruit could be born. This may have been all that motivated him. In any case, his wicked game dealt a severe blow to Mist Valley. Yeah, well, that sucks. I don't know what to tell you. You can't really trust the Fabled, especially Raven, it looks like. Is that cool? Oh, whoops. Right-clicking. Right-clicking. Alright. Mist Valley had become isolated because of Raven. Without aid from other allies of Justice's tribes, a hard fight lay ahead. The worm nests again began to spread until they occupied a fifth of the area. Not even the valley's largest and mightiest creatures, the mistworms, were a match for the worm forces. After a mistworm was defeated, its colossal corpse gave nutrients to the invaders, enabling them to grow and multiply. A second and a third fell, and the worm's strength but grew. It seemed they would soon overrun everything. Would the valley folk fight until the bitter end in defense of their home? Or would they flee from the infestation and seek shelter elsewhere? Shattered and exhausted, they faced a deep crisis, and just then, they arrived. A group of soaring knights, a mighty gale following in their wake. Wait, what was the name? Oh, they're just Dragoonides, never mind. I thought it was gonna be like I can't remember his name. He used a lance, and then he was on one of the dragons. But he was one of Yugi's cards. I can't remember the name, though. I really liked his deck, but I just can't. I'm sorry. They were the Dragoonides spoken of in legend. Inhabitants of the Dragon Ravine in a distant part of the valley. They had become borderline mythical after years in obscurity. They had ascended to become Dragoonide Knights through their secret knowledge of dragon mastery. Realizing the grave situation the valley faced, they had come to fight. They led the charge and drove back the worms. Inspired by their bravery, the valley folk took up arms and renewed vigor. The valley was swiftly cleared of worms. And once victory was secured, the Dragoonide Knights departed in a flash. They had saved the valley, but that was not all. Their overpowering draconic aura dispelled the fabled curse on the valley folk. Having returned to their senses, they were welcomed back into the Ally of Justice just as the final clash with the worms was looming. Well, isn't that nice? I know what story's coming next, most likely. The Dragoonides. That's going to be kind of cool. Dragoonides are pretty popular, from what I remember. There you... Oh, yeah, here we go. I like these guys. The Simorgs, the Birds of Sovereignty. I never fully played this deck, but I know I wanted to at some point. I had this guy. I had him used in my Ritual Beast, if I remember. Was it this one? This card is in your hand. You can banish one dark, one wind monster from your graveyard. Special summon this card. Yeah. It might have been this one. Oh, no. This was in my Metaphys. That's right. It was my Metaphys deck that I had him in. I still had fun, but whether it was viable or not, I still played it. It was fun. So, the Dragoonides are coming I don't believe we did a story for them just yet, so that's pretty exciting, especially for those who are a big fan of the dragon. I didn't really play them, but a couple of my friends did, and they called them the Dragnudities. I thought that was a pretty humorous thing. Other than that, that seems to be it for the time being. I haven't been on this in a little bit, but I did see when it did pop up, so I should be able to keep up a little bit better, because it's been like over a month since that released. But other than that, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you have a comment, leave a comment. If you like the video, like the video. And thanks for watching. Have a good day, night, evening. Either one's fine.